Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I just want to go over about what we know about Azur Promilia so far. One of my most anticipating gacha games coming out. The CBT is currently here only for China, however, so basically all of the gameplay footage is coming from somebody either in China or maybe they're using a Chinese VPN. I'm not really 100% sure, but the CBT is only available in China, unfortunately. So the most important thing I'm going to be talking about first is the gacha system, because that's basically, one of the most core parts of the gacha is the summoning. So it's basically going to be 1% for an SSR. An SSR is a 5-star, and a 5% for a 4-star. You get a guaranteed 4-star for every 10 pulls, and there is a soft pity at around 73 pulls. And the biggest kicker in the balls is that there's going to be a 50-50 system in Azur Promilia. So if you are familiar with Genshin summoning system, or any of the Hoyoverse's summoning system, or even Wuwa summoning system, or GFL2's summoning system, you basically already know the deal. There's a 50-50 here. That's the sad part about it, but that there is a 50-50. There are 3 types of banners. You got the limited character banner, a standard character banner, and a spirit character banner. Now, we don't know what spirit is. I don't think spirit the banner is in the current CBT right now. It's basically coming from a translation of the leak. We don't know what spirit is. My best guess is maybe it's going to be like a Kibos thing, maybe the Pokemon that you summon. I have no fucking idea. Now that we got the banner system out of the way, let's start talking about the Kibos system, since the Kibos are a pretty important aspect of Azur Promilia, other than the characters themselves, since this game does play kind of similar to Pokemon / Pal World. So if you ever played any Pokemon game, you do have starters in Azur Promilia. You basically got a grass, fire, water, typical Pokemon stuff. Another interesting aspect about Kibos is that you capture them using cards. I do know with the whole Game Freak situation going on, they are pretty, or at least I think it's mostly just Nintendo doing this. They're basically really gung-ho about the whole capturing monsters in balls type of thing. So in Azur Promilia, we're capturing our monsters in cards, which is pretty cool, I think. Now, when it comes to the rates of capturing some Kibos, allegedly, according to a CN player, he caught a boss Kibo and the success rate is 0.7%. So this probably might be one of the most grindiest aspects of Azur Promilia, is capturing Kibos. The Kibos in this game basically fight alongside with you. You'll see them, do their own thing in the background. I am not 100% sure if they give like stat bonuses to your character. It appears that you can only equip 1 Kibos a character, and you have a party of 3. So that's 3 Kibos on the team. And that's basically what we know so far about the Kibos system. So let's start talking about the advantages and disadvantages that users have submitted about Azur Promilia. We'll start with the disadvantages first, since there seems to be a lot of them. However, since it is a closed beta test, obviously not everything is going to be perfect and smooth. Disadvantage number 1, the optimization is pretty poor in Azur Promilia. According to a user, the FPS would go from 80 to 40 during combat. Now, I do know that the PC requirements for Azur Promilia seemed a little bit too excessive. The requirements basically needed you to have 32 gigabytes of RAM. So that seems way too much. Hopefully, in the future, they will fix the optimization for Azur Promilia, since I think the optimization is probably one of the most important things you can do in the game. Because if people can't play it, then, they can't play it. And that's basically the company losing money over it. So in the future, I definitely expect some better optimization for Azur Promilia. Dialogue scenes are static with no camera transitions. Now, from what little that I've seen about the game, I think this is somewhat true. In the beginning of the game, the cutscenes did look really great, but later on, they were kind of just so-and-so. I do think the characters definitely feel a lot more expressive, but the scenes themselves just seem a little staticky, but nothing really too major. I think it's okay-ish, but they definitely could improve on like a few of the cutscenes. Kibos have few animations, which I think is kind of weird because Kibos are a pretty important aspect of the game. Maybe they could give them a little bit more animation. Weak tutorial system. Apparently in Azur Promilia, when you unlock the home system, there's no tutorial for it, so players don't really know how to use the home system. So hopefully they'll add a tutorial for the home system. Visuals have a strange graininess and no option to adjust screen detail. I think adding screen detail to the options menu would be pretty good for the game. A lot of games tend to have that, so add that to the game. Manju, please. Team bindings can't be changed and controller support is poor, so I think they should definitely adjust that as well, so players can play the game how they want to play the game. Now let's look at the advantages of Azur Promilia. The battle animations look great with simple dodge and parry detection. Characters look good, which I definitely agree on. The characters look so fucking amazing in Azur Promilia. I cannot wait for this game to come out. Art style is pleasant and story presentation is decent, and the protagonist speaks and lets you switch between the male and female lead. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you choose the female or male protagonist, you can basically switch them at any time. I don't know if there's going to be a 24-hour limit, but you can change the main protagonist, and you can also customize them as well. I don't know how deep the customization is, but it seems pretty deep enough. You could change the skin tone. I don't know if you could change the hair color or whatever, but customization is here for the main character in Azur Promilia. Anyways, this is the only first closed beta test of Azur Promilia. I don't know how many they will have in the future. I don't think the game is going to be really that close to releasing anytime soon. Since this is only the first closed beta test, I'll probably give it maybe like in the middle of 2026 or maybe towards the end of 2026. We'll get like a release of Azur Promilia, maybe even early 2027. But as long as the game is good when it comes out, I don't really care how long it takes. But yeah, that's basically all I know about Azur Promilia. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about it so far? Any changes you want to see? And I'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye now. Come again soon.